Well, happy Saturday morning. I'm sitting here in my office with a little coffee and my poo because you can see I like winning poo. Um, got the mic on. Hopefully, get the voice going a little better. It's the mic I use for the podcast. Um, and what I wanted to talk about this morning is we actually had a couple people. I posted yesterday what you wanted to hear about as it related to self improvement. And so we had a couple people respond, and I would like to touch on what their questions were and maybe some ways to help them. So Bonnie asked, how do you stay the course when things get rocky and you want to throw in the towel? So this all happens to us at some point in our lives. Nobody doesn't have this happen. Hard times happen, right? And rocky roads, my favorite ice cream. Oh, anyway, rocky times happen. And so, what can you do to stay the path? And it really depends on your situation to some degree, but there are some things that are true regardless. And so, I think some of the biggest things to think about is to come from a point of gratitude. And it's in those moments where you need to take pause and really look at your picture. And one of my favorite things is to say to myself, I'm okay in this moment. In this moment, I am okay. Right? So if you can sit there for a minute and remind yourself that the world is not ending, that you are okay, and take a few deep breaths, it'll put you back into the present. So you start there. And then you move into the idea of gratitude and look at the big picture and focus in on some of the small good things. And this can be so minute, but it'll get your brain in a more positive place. So focusing on gratitude might look like the sun shining. That's something to be grateful for. Or if it has to do with our spouses, partners, it's what do you appreciate about that person? Are they someone that helps contribute to the household financially? Do they help take care of the kids? What do they do that's good? And then focus in on those moments. Um, it could be just the fact that you woke up this morning and were able to put your feet on the floor and take those first steps to get started with your day. But focus in on what you are grateful for. Could be your kids, could be your pets. I see mine moving around in the background here. Whatever it may be, focus some time on gratitude. And then have some patience. Patience with yourself, patience with the other person that might be involved in the situation. And sometimes and you just have to give yourself grace, let yourself have the feelings, accept the feelings, and then keep moving. And then patience sometimes is tricky, but again, if we go back to the gratitude, and then also come from a point of love for yourself and for the other people that are contributing to the situation, and just think about that. Sometimes it's hard, but if you can really do that, again, that's the giving yourself grace and showing some love to the person that might be causing your frustrations. And then, some of the big things, especially if this is for business, just keep pushing forward. And if you have small failures, it's okay. Learn from them and move on. Don't get stuck in insanity, which is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Keep pushing forward, trying new things, do things that are outside of your comfort zone. Just keep going. If it means social media is not working for you for your small business and it's time to get out and start beating the pavement, then do that. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let your own insecurities hold you back. Just keep pushing forward. And I think, and I said a little bit, but try new things. You just can't let, I don't know about you guys, but I always hate this. Well, this is what we've always done. Well, great. Well, how is that working for you today? And if it's not working, then, something needs to change. So try something new. But those would be my suggestions on how to power through things when stuff gets in the way. Just keep moving forward, find some gratitude, take a pause, take some breaths. That's one of my favorite things is take 3 deep breaths. Yeah, just one even makes a difference. It settles you down. So do 3 and keep going. So thanks for the question, Bonnie, and we'll go on to the next one. So Terry also submitted a question about how to stay present. And this is so important, I think. It's so good for our mental health as well as our physical health. And, I want to go back, to Bonnie. There's one other thing I wanted to bring up on that is that it's super important that we take care of ourselves during difficult times too. And so often we forget to do that. So make the time to go for the walk, do some journaling, do some meditation as, minimal, maybe it's just 10 breaths, whatever you can do to get in. But make sure you're taking care of yourself in those hard times too, because we forget about ourselves and that's really not okay. We have to make sure we're making ourselves a priority. And again, as a small business, sometimes that's really where you need to start each day is taking care of yourself and then going to the business. But I really encourage that for everyone. So again, back to Terry so it's kind of the same, staying present. We got to take care of ourselves. Breathing exercises are amazing for bringing us back to the present. So even if it's just those 3 deep breaths, okay, 10's even better, whatever you can allow for yourself to do that. Another really good thing to pull you back into the moment is to use all of your senses. And what does that look like? So if you're sitting down with a cup of coffee, let's say, and we can start with really taking in the scent of it and then the taste. And so I use coconut creamer in mine and a little bit of stevia. And I actually have to drink decaf because caffeine is not my friend. But still, it's just that warm, cozy feeling and really being in that moment and the flavor and the smells and enjoying it, being mindful of your actual cup of coffee. Maybe it's going outside and feeling the warmth of the sun on your back and just feeling how it, and the sun just kind of embraces you. So being in the moment, hopefully that makes sense. And it could be, again, just as simple as a soft sweater that you put on your body and just feeling the softness of the sweater upon yourself. But again, it's focus on scent and taste and what you can hearing the birds singing if you go on your morning walk, all of the things. So again, gratitude is going to be great for that. So focus in, do some journaling, write down the things that you're grateful for. And if you have to do this every day to bring you back to the moment and what's good, do it. Being outside, take a few minutes at your lunch break and just go for a short walk in the sun. You can even just sit on a bench for 15 minutes and being in nature alone is so soothing and brings you to the present moment, especially if you take the time to listen to the birds, listen to the rustling of the leaves, smell the scents, whatever they may be, wherever you are, just be in the moment. I was trying to look at some other things here that I wrote down. Obviously let's check in with ourselves. Let's review how we feel, what hurts, what feels good, and it can be just closing your eyes for just a couple of minutes and being like, okay, this body scan. Does anything hurt? Nope, we're good. Or yes, my shoulder hurts. Okay, well, let me, work the shoulder out a little bit, whatever it might be. So you're focused back in on the moment and on yourself. And then also take time to be super present with your loved ones and your kids. So if you do have kids, in the time that you do have with them, if you're super busy and you're trying to just focus on a short time on spending with them, really be with them. And so what does that look like? Well, maybe that's getting out Candyland and playing Candyland with them. Maybe it's creating some sort of experience that you can all have together, whether it's a vacation or it's just going to the park and having a picnic and taking a soccer ball and you can watch them kick the ball around. But it's everybody sitting down and having an experience that you may not have otherwise, being present with your family and your kids when you have the time to do so. Um, so I think those are some of the really big things to try to stay present in the moment. When we start future thinking, that's where anxiety rears its head. And so we need to try to avoid that as much as possible. Now, I do suggest that planning for the future is important, but you live in today, and your today self affects your future self. So, the things you put in motion today will affect your future and make it better or worse. So, just remembering that in this moment, you're okay and everything is fine. And this is where I can affect what comes next. So, trying to stay present is very important as well. It's good for your state of mind, your mental health. So, hopefully that helps a little bit. And I wish you all a happy Saturday and a great weekend.